Welcome students in today's lecture, and today we would be discussing the business models that could be adopted by tribals. And today, I have named the title as Thriving Traditions, Indigenous Entrepreneurship Through Diverse Business Model. So here you can see that we are talking of traditions. So how the business models for tribals is quite different from others, those who are in mainland, and those who are in tribal areas, how does their business model differ? Today we will be discussing that. So what is a business model? Business model is how you generate revenue from different economic activities, and for this to understand, there could be various models, what types of things you are selling, and based on that I have categorized into two types, that is types of rights being sold and the types of assets involved. When we categorize in the rights being sold, again you can see that there is a creator, distributor, landlord and broker. Now let us understand one by one for each. Let us understand the creator business model. In creator, the tribal businesses that creates or sell the product based on your knowledge, that is indigenous knowledge, on the cultural heritage and the craftsmanship, that the unique identity they have. So such types of endeavors can be categorized that they are the creators. Similarly, we can have distributor, that is tribals create something and there are tribal owned stores, cooperative ventures which distribute such types of whatever thing is being created, like your tribal art or other products. Then there is third business model, in which tribal businesses provide the physical space for recreational purpose, for tourism purpose, and such business could be categorized into landlord type. And the fourth one is your broker type, in which tribal owned consulting firms, business incubator and examples like matching services are there, in which transactions are done to connect. So it is a kind of broker, that is in middleman. Now if we categorize on the basis of assets, business model based on assets, then there could be physical, financial, intangible or human. In physical assets, they could be tangible assets based on area, based on infrastructure that they have. On the basis of financial business model could be categorized in terms of how investments in financial market are done based on tribal identity. Then there are intangibles, that is tribals have intellectual property, their own knowledge and traditional knowledge. So this knowledge could be used as generation of revenue, and such businesses model could be termed as intangible. The last and the most important is human. Tribal community holds various skills, the knowledge, expertise, and these expertise or the skills that they hold, based on that business model can be created. So we have two categories of business model, based on rights and then based on assets. Now why tribal business model matters? The tribal businesses, they are there to preserve the culture, they empower the community, and whatever their growth structure is there, their model is there, they focus on sustainability. That is, they do not exploit to an extent for which it is not available for future generation. Similarly, the business model would be helping to reduce the poverty, reduce the inequality in the society, and also the model has got its unique features of like cultural tourism. So they are more connected towards the nature, and this could be transformed into business model in form of cultural tourism, showing the various culture of the tribes. Then there could also be some health and wellness initiative, because the traditional herbal medicine system, that is indigenous knowledge with the tribals, that is available with them. Then there could be education, related with the traditional knowledge system. And the unique feature of tribal business model is that they show the cultural sovereignty also. So these are the things that they make different. The tribal business model is different from other parts of the land. So basically focusing on this business models, there are certain significance to it. Significance like in terms of clarity, in terms of value propositions, in terms of revenue generation, the cost structure, customer relationship, adaptability and innovation, sustainability and scalability, investor and stakeholder confidence. Now one by one, let us have understanding of this, the significance of business model for tribal entrepreneurship. In tribal business model, we can see that when decisions are being taken or when resources are utilized, then these are used and it gives a purpose, it gives a clarity that what needs to be done and what strategy needs to be adopted. Similarly, another significance is value proposition, in which once we have clarity, it helps the users of the products to differentiate from competitors, to differentiate the products which are available from tribal areas that could be having very unique identity, that could be having unique cultural heritage. So this gives value also. Value lies in the traditional knowledge. Then business model provides revenue generation. There could be various business models that we will be discussing one by one. Then what is the cost structure of such tribal business model? As we know that if cost is less, efficiency is more, then it may provide competitive advantage. And managing such expenses to be low, it would be delivering products at cheaper rate, it would be available at competitive rate. So these are some of the significance that when one design the business model related with tribal areas, tribal entrepreneurship, then cost structure, the costing has to be kept in mind, because generally mostly it is handicraft, it is mostly made by hands. So it might be that the product which are made by machines would be cheaper than the tribal. So it needs to have some competitive advantage, that is the uniqueness of the art or the high skill that is put into the craft that could be sold. Then the business model which are created for tribals, they can build relationship with the customers over time and they can drive the customer loyalty. From time to time, innovations are needed, adaptability is needed to stay in competition. Whatever advancement is being taken, that needs to be incorporated in various business model of the tribals. One more challenge comes up, that is scalability. To scale the business, resources are needed, funds are needed. So is it possible to scale the business model which are based on tribals? What are the strength, weakness, opportunity and threats into it that needs to be looked after? And once that is being achieved, the weaknesses are turned into strength, the opportunities which are realized through innovation, then it could be scaled up. So ample opportunity should be available to scale the business which is currently set now. Then the significance again lies in investor and stakeholder confidence. Once the stakeholders, those participants who are involved in the business, they put their investment. If it is transparent, the business model is transparent and it is accountable, open to external audit, then it would create confidence and trust in the investor, and they would be more likely that with time they would be investing more and it would be attracting diverse investment entrepreneurs also. So these are some of the significance and unique characteristics of the business model that is being in tribal areas, that we need to have a clarity. There should be some value. It should create some revenue model. One needs to focus on cost, build customer relationship. The business should be innovative. It should be adaptable. That business could be scaled up and it should lead to more number of investors coming in for that business model. By analyzing how business model contribute to nation building, if various business enterprises are set up, then it would be helping in economic growth also. It would be generating employment. It would be fostering innovation. So with setting up of such kind of businesses, it would help in generation of higher income and improvement of standard of living. Then only overall economic prosperity of the nation can come. So business model contributes in terms of economic growth of the nation. Business model also helps in innovation of the entrepreneurs, and new entrepreneurs get attracted to the various business opportunities that is available. So business model, they attract various entrepreneurs to start new ventures and bring social change within the society. It also helps in infrastructure development. Infrastructure development in terms of like transportation is being improved, the facilities like telecommunication, the healthcare facilities in tribal areas with the setting of ventures. These also help in poverty reduction, in generation of employment, in income generation. So overall, you can see that when businesses thrive, it also enhances the infrastructure of that area. Even capital gets attracted from foreign land also. If business environment is conducive and there is business model which could be scaled up, which is adaptable and meets out the regulatory framework, they would be attracting foreign investment also into the country. And ultimately, this foreign investment would be helping in capital formation, and this capital formation would be helping in generation of further income every year, each and every year that is coming ahead. It also leads to creation of job. Industries get expanded with the new capital that is coming up. Then the revenue generation in terms of government also gains in form of taxes, the levies that are being imposed. And these levies could be, or the taxes could be used for further infrastructure development. So it is also a revenue generation model for the government also. And then government could utilize such finance to make social welfare in the nation. Business model that focus on exports, they also bring foreign exchange into the country. It helps in the nation balance of payment. So export oriented industries would be creating jobs, would stimulate economic growth, and showcase the country's product in international stage. So they bring image of the nation in international arena. Then business model, they help in social change also. The marginalized communities, the disabled, the disadvantaged society also gets benefited from. Once the corporate social responsibility of the entrepreneurs gets fulfilled, they also look that whatever profit is being generated, they are further given back to the society, and it improves the societal standard and brings societal cohesion into the nation. Various business models also help in technological advancement. Adopting new technologies like promotion of digital innovation, these adoption would be helping in efficiency, would be helping in effectiveness, they would be helping in competitiveness. So it creates a unique competitive advantage by adoption of technology. And upon adoption, it further brings more technological advancement, and this leads to economic development. Business model which are not only domestically competitive, they could also be globally competitive and serve as a marketplace. So by creating value, by creating efficiency into the model, it would be, the products could be made available to foreign places also. It would be expanding the market. So these are some of the advantages that are inherent in creation of business models for entrepreneurship. Ultimately, it would be helping in nation building. Then what are the impact of tribal business model on community development? If you see, on community, it creates job, it provides avenues for income generation, and it improves the infrastructure. In terms of job creation, there is a large problem of unemployment in the nation, and business model based on such tribal areas, they would be bringing self-sufficiency in the area, that would be bringing economic growth into that area. And also those people who migrate to outside area, they can be indulged into their own area and their income generation would be facilitated. And upon remaining in their own area, they also generate income. So various streams of income come from various business model, and this enhancement in income would lead to household consumption, would lead to household income, and that would be improving the standard of living. Tribal business model also help in infrastructure development. For example, with a thriving population, there would be need of education, so schools would be set up, healthcare facilities would be set up, roads would be built up, and this would be ultimately helping in the improvement of quality of the life of the tribals and the neighboring areas, and thus would lead to economic development of the nation. So tribal business model helps in community development also in terms of job creation, income generation, and infrastructure development. So these are some of the inherent advantages that are there with thriving business model for the tribals. Here is a list of various tribal business models that could be based on various themes. One by one we can see that there is scope in tourism, then there is a scope in for the artisans, those who are producing pottery, those who are into weaving, those who are into carving. So based on that, such enterprises could be set up. Then business models could be built upon renewable energy also. So tribal, for that solutions would be coming up. Right now most of the area which does not have electricity, and if such business model comes up which uses renewable energy and provides electricity into that area, that would be enhancing the infrastructure also. So such business models could be taken up. Then there could be models in digital innovation in terms of having various mobile apps, various platforms could be used to promote the tribal art, tribal culture, tribal language, and based on that business model could be created. Then the traditional agriculture that is there, that could also be used for business model, and it would be helping in food security, and also would be helping the mainland in learning most of the practices now which seems to be traditional but are eco-friendly. Then businesses could be based on healthcare. As I discussed earlier also, herbal medicines could be used for revenue generation. Then business model based on education, that is making the mainland people learn the tribal language, could be a model for generation of revenue. Then the food and beverages that the tribal use, that could be used for those people who gets attracted to such food. So various food items, products could be set up for business ventures. Then there are also tribal cooperative enterprises. So cooperative are helping whole community for various purposes. For example, the artisan individually might not be able to sell his product, but through cooperative, their products could reach to the wider market area, not only nationally but also internationally also. Then business model based on finance. It is natural that when business expand, when it is being set up, when it is scaled up, finance is needed. So offering micro loans to such people, offering financial literacy, offering investment opportunity for the tribal members could be also one of the business model. Then there could be tribal housing development, building affordable housing projects. This would be helping up the tribals to have good housing facilities. So business model based on helping the tribals to have housing would be very much effective, and they would be lacking very much in terms of that their housing needs would be fulfilled. Then how land is being managed based on this traditional knowledge, again There could be tribal environmental consulting. Another venture could be in terms of ecotourism, that is watching wildlife. It is very much popular, so that could be utilized. Then even tribal media and publishing could be one of the ventures, in which to promote tribal news, tribal stories, to promote cultural content that could be published through various sources, through print media or through online platforms. So such models could be set up. Then tribal event planning and management could be set up. Then transportation services. Then tribal wellness products, as I mentioned earlier, also for skin care, for herbal remedies, for oils. Such business could be set up in terms of wellness products. Then tribal conservation enterprises could be set up. Again, it is for wildlife monitoring, ecotourism. Then there could also be for education and workshop, in which the traditional craft, the traditional art is being taught to others. It also promotes cultural preservation also, and it helps others also to learn the new skills. So these are some of the new innovative tribal models that can be brought up in different areas, right from agriculture to tourism, to healthcare, to beverages, to cooperative. So there are lots and lots of avenues where various business models could be built up. But one thing needs to be remembered. In tribal businesses, there are some unique economic aspects also. And one of such economic aspect is that cultural value and identity. Tribal businesses should focus on cultural preservation. If it is being looked, if it is prioritized that cultural preservation should be made, then the whatever pricing strategy is being adopted, whatever services is being offered, it would be helping in more constructive customer engagement. So focus should be on incorporating traditional knowledge and the knowledge that they have into business model that brings their identity into the business model. Then the various business models that are being offered for tribals, in that one of utmost important is of natural resource management. Focus is on environmental conservation. So revenue generated through this resource-based enterprises would be helping the tribal various resource management. They would be helping in various social programs, would be helping various economic development initiatives. Then this whatever business model is there of the tribals, they operate under unique legal and regulatory framework provided by the government. And government policies related with these tribal areas would be quite distinct in terms of like the taxation policies for those areas are quite different. Similarly, the challenges, the market opportunities that is available for such ventures are very different from mainland. The tribal business model helps in revenue generation, they help in community development, so they overall help in improvement of quality of life of the people. It is not less to say that tribal businesses also face risk, like risk of market volatility. There could be some environmental hazards, there could be political instability. So various risk mitigation strategies could be used for planning and building of such business models which generates revenue. But as one can see that if innovations are being adopted, then this would be enhancing the business revenue stream. It would be helping in generating revenue. It would be improving the infrastructure. So these are some of the economic aspects of the businesses in tribal areas. I have a question that when we are setting up various tribal businesses, do some tribal business model perform better than others? Yes, answer is yes. Now this difference comes due to various unique characteristics, like the way the businesses are managed, the type of governance that they have, the type of community engagement they have. Not only this, tribal businesses focuses on environmental, eco-friendly, sustainability. So it is focusing on the aspects which is requirement of the time. Then those business model which would be collaborating, which would be which could use the market avenues that is available through partnership, then such model would be driving higher revenue and profitability. So there are that it is not that each and every models work in same way. So tribal models would be performing differently based on such aspect like what amount of community engagement is there, how it is moving towards environmental stewardship, how it is accessing with the market, how it is collaborating, how it is making partnerships. So with this lecture, now we have a comprehensive understanding that what types of business model could be set up. Thank you very much.